In my day-to-day job, I am an engineer. Goes without saying that I love certain technical aspects of nature, math, science, etc. However, this used to not only be a fun part of life for me, this academic mindset used to be the only way I was able to see truth. My logical mind viewed that as the only accurate way to see reality. Then, in 2019, I went on a silent meditation retreat in Lake Tahoe, California, and it shattered my faith in this academic mindset. So, here are the 7 things that I learned in silence that reshaped how I see the world. 1. Silence can give you a clarity that you can't get anywhere else. School and work, for example, teach us how to constantly improve, constantly be getting better, constantly be adding to intellectual understanding. But silence is like a blissful retreat, a blissful letting go of all of those things. And therefore, it teaches us something completely different than adding on intellectual knowledge ever could. So, what does it teach you? Number 2, silence teaches you how to find peace and serenity and happiness regardless of external circumstances. And this is particularly groundbreaking because if you look at most people, their happiness is held hostage, and it's held hostage by things going perfectly. It's held hostage by them feeling productive. It's held hostage by a vacation that has no hiccups in it. Getting validation from other people. You take away this validation and they'll be terribly unhappy. But as it turns out, it just happens to be the case that when you sit in silence and you're left with just raw, naked reality. So that would be your sense perceptions, your sensations, and your naked existence. And if you lean into that, there's like a almost surprising kind of joy or a surprising kind of peace that just starts to fill your body if you can really lean on to silence. Number 3, meditation solves your problems by revealing that they're not real. So here's what happens. When you go on a silent meditation retreat, and this happens in normal meditation on a cushion, but definitely on a retreat, you're like turning down the volume knob on your everyday life. Like there's nothing to do. There's no what do I have to do thoughts preoccupying your head. There's no stimulation really. So the thoughts that you normally have, the sensations that you normally have, they get cranked up. It's like really loud. And so my thoughts were really loud on this retreat. And there were these things happening, like I would lose my pen for my journal, or someone wouldn't hold the door for me, or I got the last spot in the dinner buffet line. And my thoughts were like, oh, this sucks. They were like super upset about it. Normally these things wouldn't be problems. But in the absence of my normal problems, so to speak, my mind was just generating problems out of nothing. And that's when I clearly saw the mechanism. Problems are not real, tangible things whatsoever. They are a mental interpretation of a circumstance. So that's not to downplay that circumstances can be extremely uncomfortable and difficult and painful and sorrowful. However, after the circumstances are translated through your head and interpreted as a problem, there's not actually there's not a problem there. A problem isn't a circumstance. A problem is a interpretation of a circumstance of how things should or shouldn't be. And when you do that, it often makes things way worse than they originally were. So use it wisely. Number 4, mental commentary is the opposite of clarity. What do I mean by that? The more your mind is jabbering about something, the less you're actually in direct contact with your experience of it. So the more you're in mental chatter about your project, the less you're actually involved in being in the project, talking to the people about the project. That's where the clarity comes from. The mental chatter is like a overlay that makes it all dark and opaque and unclear. And on an even deeper level, just walking around in normal life, clarity is clear awareness. And most thoughts that we have are typically just random noise in that awareness. And if our attention is completely wrapped in those thoughts, just normal chatter about the day, talking about this, talking about that, imagining a conversation with this person, it obscures the clarity that's available right here, right now, with no pre-requirement condition necessary to be met for you to have it. That's all we have time for now. Maybe I'll make a part 2, maybe not. We'll see. Thanks for watching.